So is it Thoreau or Thorough? I was reading the other day that it's Thoreau, like thorough, but you pronounce the first O. Really? I know he literally wrote the book on civil disobedience, but I feel like I don't know much about him. I definitely didn't. He wasn't just a writer, but an inventor, a natural historian, and even a conductor on the Underground Railroad. He was quite a character. What's that famous quote of his? If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drummer.
When were the good and the brave ever in a majority?
Young Thoreau graduated from Harvard in 1837. College graduates of his time were expected to enter medicine, the church, or the law, but Thoreau enjoyed a rigorous disinterest in those professions. Uncertain what to do next, he returned to his hometown of Concord, Massachusetts, to ponder his next steps. There he had the great fortune to meet Ralph Waldo Emerson, who would be his friend and mentor all of his life.
It's nice to meet you, young man. What are your plans now that you're back in town?
Well, I have an idea that might help my family's pencil factory. And so you see, gentlemen, we will be able to use this new method of binding graphite with clay to improve the hardness of American graphite sources. I proposed a hardness scale of a 1 to 4 for pencils of different uses.
We'll save thousands if we don't have to import graphite from England. Mr. Thoreau, this is going to revolutionize the American pencil industry.
Thoreau's inventions were the salvation of his family's company, but he himself was always most at peace in nature. Thoreau was considered a naturalist and devoured books and articles on the life sciences. He wrote millions of words of meticulous observations on the nature he admired. In fact, Thoreau is now considered an early environmental historian. His extensive observations on how human activity has influenced nature became one of the cornerstones of early environmental theory. But the average people of Concord didn't always see Thoreau as some kind of visionary genius. In 1846, Thoreau was arrested after refusing to pay his poll tax for the past 6 years. Knowing that this tax was used to fund slavery as well as the Mexican-American War, Thoreau cheerfully chose imprisonment over capitulation.
Under a government which imprisons any unjustly, the true place for a just man is also prison.
Henry, what are you doing in there?
Waldo, the real question is, what are you doing out there?
My boy, you will never flow with the current, will you? You must always be the dam which changes the course. Go out upon that, build yourself a hut, and there begin the grim process of devouring yourself alive. I see no other alternative, no other hope for you.
Emerson allowed Thoreau to build a tiny cabin on some of Emerson's land on Walden Pond in exchange for clearing work. Thus began the most fulfilling 2 years of Thoreau's life, in which he lived simply, studied nature, read voraciously, and enjoyed his infrequent visitors and trips to town. In his rare idle moments, he began to refine his literary style. It was also during this time that Thoreau's opposition to slavery became ironclad. After his 2-year sojourn in the woods, he returned to Concord and the concerns of pre-war America. He spoke passionately about the need for abolition and was part of the transformation of public opinion about controversial abolitionist John Brown from condemned criminal to martyr.
I lived deliberately at Walden Pond, not separately. Solitude is not a sin, but inaction is. There are thousands who are in the opinion opposed to slavery, who yet in effect do nothing to put an end to it. The law will never make men free. It is men who have got to make the law free. Quickly now, son. We have a long way to go yet.
Thoreau wrote copiously during his later years. In addition to his essays on John Brown, he wrote Civil Disobedience, a series of ecological studies, and Walden, his most universally treasured work about his days on Walden Pond.
The only obligation which I have a right to assume is to do at any time what I think right. We must not wait for Congress to catch up to conscience. Let the law be damned. I answer to something higher.
In his short life, Henry David Thoreau had invented, inspired, and emboldened. He had lived freely and helped others do the same. But though his astonishing body of work would live on, Thoreau could sense that he was coming to the end of his journey.
The order of things should be somewhat reversed. The 7th should be man's day of toil, wherein to earn his living by the sweat of his brow, and the other 6 his Sabbath of the affections and the soul, in which to range this widespread garden and drink in the soft influences and sublime revelations of nature.
Oh, Henry, I know you'll be on your way soon, but I don't know if I'm ready. And you? Have you made your peace with God?
I did not know we ever quarreled.
Wow! I knew Thoreau's words had inspired Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr., but I had no idea he had had such a huge influence on the world.
And that's okay. Thoreau wasn't interested in making his mark. To quote the man himself, I came into this world not chiefly to make this a good place to live in,
but to live in it, be it good or bad.